Alrighty, I'm back with another build to share. Now, there's not a lot of options when you're purely free to play, so this might not come to a shocker to most, but it does come to a shocker to a lot of people when I tell them first about this. This build revolves, about Greg. Once you awaken Greg, he will deal damage to one target and two nearby, which is pretty much the exact same as an awakened Lilia, 3 targets. And just like Lilia, he deals a bleeding effect, a damage over time, which I have mentioned in my previous videos, and how strong it is. So Greg is usually overlooked because most people play as a human, and why would you need a flying unit marksman? Because that is for the orcs. So Greg is almost as powerful as Lilia. People say he's low ranking in the tier list because, well, first, his third skill only takes effect. Oh well, at least the defense one only takes effect when it's all flying units. So this is wasted unless you play orcs, of course. All the other stuff is quite nice, but a lot of people don't like the low amount of damage he deals to opponents. So they skip over him, plus he has one talent, which is wasted, according to a lot of people's perspectives, on engineering. But he makes up for it by having this bleed on 3 targets. Like, this is 600 damage every single second, 1,800 damage, and you cannot mitigate with high defense. You will always take this, no matter what. So Greg is quite of a big deal, because if as a low spender, you might have maybe spent $1 on the game to get Lilia level 1, but she will then only have a 10% chance of inflicting this damage over time, and she will deal 600 damage. Pretty much like Greg. So even if you have Lilia at 3-1-1-1, Greg will still outperform Lilia, because Lilia can only attack the target and an extra at base level, unless she's awakened, but for that you have to be a spender. So Greg is the man to go for. And the talent tree that I use for him is this one right here. So I built him with the intent of pure mobility and pure damage. Down this line in the tree, this is extra critical damage, and everything else is normal. So we get more speed, and when they leave a resource building, they gain haste and some extra HP. Archers aren't the fastest bunch, and you will have less range compared to mages. So my idea is building mobility as a way to hit and run, or get, into range a lot easier so they can't escape you, because usually a mage, all they have to do against an archer is kiting them. So we get, when we use rage skill, your legion gains haste and extra attack. I thought this was critical. Guess I'm still thinking about the previous build. And then we grab increases march speed when your unit count is less than 50%. There's no other really one to take here because they're locked behind the other ones. And these are, in my personal opinion, not the greatest to grab. And then we end up, I have to quickly check my, yes, we take the one on top, because when we launch a normal attack against the target with fewer than 50% units remaining, we will deal 250 damage, and this can be triggered every 10 seconds, which is normally something I wouldn't go for because it's a 50% chance, and it only happens every 10 seconds. It's a very rough gamble there. But the other one is 90 seconds, but you're guaranteed 50% march and 15% defense for 10 seconds. For me, I prioritize the other one because at least I can trigger this potentially, if I get super lucky, 9 times, compared to only having this one. And then we just go for normal attack damage, because archers are the highest base damage dealers, so you want to get as much attack and as much normal attack on them. And then we settle with Bullseye, I believe. It's been a while since I looked at my own build. Bullseye, yes, because this gives you a stack, 5 stacks, every 10 seconds while in battle, which gives 5% attack and 4 every time a normal attack. So every second you will lose a stack, but it's guaranteed damage that you get, while the other one is a 50% chance that your next rage skill will deal 8% more damage, which to me, that's not worth it because it's a rage skill and archers are about the troop itself dealing the damage, not necessarily the heroes. So since it's a free-to-play build, you will have Gwonwyn as the deputy or as the leader. This build is very flexible. You can use Greg for war, for PvP, and Gwonwyn you can actually spec into for behemoths or for single target when you're trying to clean stuff up. And the build I use for her is this. Now this is Nico, but you will see that Precision, Peacekeeping, and Marksman, it's the Marksman and Precision, it's the same as Nico. So I drew this on Nico, but it's essentially the same. Now, you grab movement speed because for the same reason why we get it on Greg. And we grab this one because it's a 10% chance to get onslaught compared to 10% chance for 150 damage. Since archers deal the most damage as a troop, that 8% normal attack damage for 5 full seconds will out damage the 150 you'll be getting from whirlwinds. So invincible is way more value. And then down the line, we grab up when your legion deals 2% more normal damage when their unit count is above 50. This becomes 10%. This is guaranteed damage. You will always have your troops above 50% when you engage in the battle. You will lose this, sadly, but it's a good idea of dealing a lot of damage at the start so that you don't lose as many troops. And then we go into critical, and this critical is for normal attacks, unlike the mage build where it's hero skill attack. You can see how it's really intended that archers are meant to deal normal damage and not buff skill damage. That is why these trees have so many normal attacks in them. And then we settle for Mark of War, because every 10 seconds, up to a maximum of 3%, your attack increases by 0.5 every 10 seconds, up to 3. The other one is a 20-second thing that triggers, and there's a 15% chance of triggering additional normal attack, which that's too low of an odd to roll for. And then with Marksman, we just go down Marksman, go fully loaded for more normal attack damage with ranged attacks, and then we get reduced range with 15% attack increase, and then we finish off with Bullseye again for the same reason why we have it on Greg. This is my free-to-play build for Call of Dragons, for Marksman troop type. I hope this has been insightful or helpful. This is just my idea of a free-to-play build. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and maybe we can brainstorm some alternatives in the build. Let's see what you all think. So new at this. Have a good one, everyone, and bye-bye. Thank you for watching.